At 68. Yeah, 68.
A prime, choir 1 starts, then choir 2.
Got it? And 1. There you go. Separate bows. Up, down. Okay? 1, 2, 3, sing. There you go. Bases along, please. 1, 2, 3, go. Just keep it happy, just keep it dancing. Don't oversing it, just pack it in. Tenors, join up. 1, 2, 3, go. This is a vocal quality issue, but part of it is vowel 2. Brighter, first tenor sound. You're singing these, bass. So 2 second tenors. And so you want to try to match a little brighter sound. So if you it's just 2 different sounds. Part of that's vocal quality. Part of it is the range is a little lower, and you're not. If I put you on that range, you'd probably be automatically brighter too. Somehow you have to imitate. Okay, do the best you can.
But they go brighter.
Yeah, go brighter.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, everybody's in. Altos, how long is that hold? Yeah. So help yourself. Again, strike, stay out of the way, and about towards the end of it, you want to make your presence known. And they go, oh yeah, she's been there the whole time. And but you stay out of the way up until then, right? Everybody's in. And 1, 2, 3, go. You might not want to do every bar, but just a little bit of tummy stuff there, all right? You want to do one more? One more with that?
Yeah.
See if we can keep it together. Over singing basses, 1, 2, 3, go. What's the strongest beat in a 3 measure? 1. What's the next strongest beat? 3. What does that tell you about 2? Okay, got it? So that happens just again and again and again and again. Then, 1, 2, then. long notes are so crucial to the whole character of it. But if they're oversung in the beginning, then they just muddy the water. Yeah, I wonder what would happen if you sang this staccato on D vowel. Just deep, deep, deep. Everything as short as you can. Even the long notes. Then, deep, 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 deep. Kind of an umlaut U, would you? Soprano gets high, make it more O. Okay? Staccato, 1, 2. Good. Now, make beat 2 softer. Okay? That's good. 1, 2, go! Good job, good job. You see how all of a sudden you're starting to go, oh, that's where the second beat is. And then you kind of forget you're just trying to hang on, right? And I'm watching you all sing and you're all moving, which tells me you get it. You're trying to dance. So let your voice do the dancing. Let's do it one more time. Text now. 1, 2, 3, ready, and long notes. You just have to take whatever power you have and keep going. That's very, very nice. That's the right idea. So I think you guys kind of know. That tempo's maybe a little fast, but the spirit is there, right? Okay. So can you keep that spirit as we back the tempo down? Keep that dance. Here we go. Yeah. Well, let's go to the beginning. Let's just see what happens. Good idea. So, a little clip, we're going to take a click off. I'm probably not going to go back to your first tempo, okay? All right, here we go. 1. Down. First chord. Smaller vowel bass. Stick it in the nose. 1, 2, 3, go. Nice. Come increase your resonance, okay? So I'm not asking for more sustain as I am for just pointing it further and further into the mask, right? go. Come on. Yeah, so as you get to the bottom, you can go ahead and give me some sound. All right, that's a great, great moment, isn't it? It's all about the basis there. Nice job. Can everybody get in there?
Yeah.
Bumpity up, beep. All right. 1, 2, 3, go. Here comes yeah. That's great. Here guys, dee-ta, dee-ta. So, Hill, the problem is the L, I think, right? As you're trying to sing that top note, you just kind of have to throw that away. Guys, Hill! Guys, der Geist, Geistig, Geistig, Geist, der Geist, der Geist. Right? All right? One more time, basses. We're ready for you now. Start soft, crescendo as you go down. 1, 2, 3, go! Der Geist, der Geist, everyone! Yeah, as you go to the cadence, you increase your dynamic. You sing to that cadence, but you don't add a lot of left hand, right? That just muddies the water, right? So get into the meat of the voice without adding a lot of left hand, okay? Everybody, one more time. That's nice. D, you should be, yo-yoing. D. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, that's beautiful. Very, very aggressive. Der leads to the downbeat. Der Geist for you guys. D, you guys are separated. Der Geist because of the leap, right? You can take B3 and lead it into 1, right? More energy into 1. 1, 2, 3, go. Der Geist, der Geist, der Geist, der Geist. That's the subject. And everybody else is reminding us, der Geist, the Spirit, right? It's just very kind of proclamatory. Der Geist, very blocky. Everybody else maybe a little more, just a smidge more legato. Dim, tayaram, tayaram, dim. Okay, would you try it, Dan? 1, 2. Der anytime you do the dents, don't make them den, guys, right? You hear the two things going on now? One more time. 1, 2, and den. Take us home, returns back to the theme. That's the only section I think really needs to be kind of hammered out a little bit more. What I hear you beginning to do is give attention to each other and give way. There's some great life lessons here, you know, to take your moment and then hand it off to somebody else, right? And typically that's in these sort of little motifs that sort of show themselves that they can't dominate, but they're there and they're gone, right? And then these legato lines that you're beginning to add, those are just really, really striking. You hear the different things going on there? Awesome, really great. Let's do a little Renaissance music.
Yeah, so the Victoria, they did that on their own. I don't know if it's shaped or not, but I guess we'll hear it.
Awesome. Isn't that music just spectacular? Hey, I have to tell you all something. When I sang Bach in college, I could not stand this music. It made me, I just couldn't stand it. And the reason was, we sang it into the ground. I mean, and at the end, everybody would turn and go, oh, isn't that great? And I'm going, okay. I mean, I just couldn't stand it. And I think it's because everybody just was so aggressive and so loud and so, you know, it's like a big war to me. And if you give way, you give other people a chance. It has great, great music. Okay, O Magnum.
What key are you in, Joe?
Somebody give me some music.
We're down a half step.
Joe, let me have some music.
I got it. Oh, I'm sorry. I got it. We're down a half step.
Why don't you go back to your, you want the sections or the Bible?
I think I'd rather have you in sections for a little bit, just to match sound.
Yeah.
For a minute.
Just go high low and then come up to you.
You don't matter.
Who would love the rehearsal? Joe, take it.
Well, let's start with this. Let's start with everybody singing on E vowel. And I want you to do exactly the opposite of what we did in the Baroque. We were coming off the string in some places. We were certainly lightening the number of hairs on a long note. And I'd like for you to just stay consistent, especially in these dotted quarter eighth note. D, ya, da, da, D, ya, da, da. I want to take a little bit of that lift out of that, all right? If you do that. Could we start a Utan Wall? Is that right? Do you have a on U or on E? Three and four. Doesn't stand out. It's not what we want, right? So, would you paint the wall, please, with your brush? Don't let your bristles come off the wall. The bristles have to stay on the wall all the time. Shift directions on every note. The bristles are always on the wall. Right? Ready and go. They're in groups, they all do them together. One of the things they do is they write calligraphy on the sidewalk in water, and it evaporates and is gone. And they'll write their, I don't know what they're writing, their life story. And the calligraphy that they use on the sidewalks are these brushes that are about, this big. They've got a head like that goes down to one hair. One. So it's shaped. So they get it's beautiful. And then it evaporates and it's gone. And I had that picture at the end of every phrase, you should be coming down to one hair. So you may start with one hair and then dig in, and then at the end of the phrase, that's what the shaping is. It's not so much in the middle of the phrase that we're doing with the Bach, right? So we're really shaping it at the ends, right? So would you calligraphy on the sidewalk for me and do it one more time? Start with one hair and press in further and further, and then pull out at the end of each phrase. Uta. 1 and 2 and go. E. Yeah, one time. Ready and eval, ready and go. Press in. Pull. Go, go, go. Go, go. Go. Dig in. Pull away. Go, go, go. Go away. Go bass. Go bass. Come on. Go altos. 2. Dig, dig, dig. Big, more. Very nice. We think that Renaissance music has no dynamic to it. And the truth is that a lot of the dynamic comes out of just the layering of sound, but it does have an intentionality in the phrase. And that might be a little overdone, but I like the fact that the phrase is doing something, right? And it certainly You know, when I was sabbaticaling in England, I was just stunned by the lack of sustain in the choirs. They just, I mean, they just didn't sustain. You know why? Because the cathedral sustains. It does all the work, you know, and it was all about getting the diction out. And then the cathedral does all of that stuff for them, right? So you have to create this sound. You have to be the cathedral with your voice, right? So you do have to continue to sustain, but it has to have this impression that you're not, you know, always digging in into the forte. That's really beautiful. Can you do it on text? The vowels need to be thoughtfully constructed within the context of what you just did. All right? Ut animal. You know, this amazing mystery, the animals got to see it first. That's the text, right? Animals get to see the mystery first. Utani. 1 and 2 and... Utani Maria. Yeah, tenors have the tenors of the key. Do you see them? That's the point everybody's taking this to. All right, you see it? All right, so everybody, that's your goal. Give me a little. Doesn't this remind you of incense that's intertwining and disappearing into the cathedral, right? All these different lines. Try it one more time. 1 and 2 and the tuning is just so long. Can you crescendo the ah without color? Inappropriate, right? One more time. 1 and 2 and sing. Develop the ah without color, right? That's right. One more time and go. The first thing I did was I went to Evensong in King's College Chapel. I had to go hear the voice sing, you know. And they were singing something, Purcell. You thought it was Purcell, but it's Purcell to them. And they were singing Purcell, and it came to the first cadence, and I swear I got 2 inches taller. The brightness of that first cadence just turned my head. I mean, I went, what? It was so sharp that it hurt my ears. It wasn't sharp, but it was so and it's because that fifth is a pum-pum-pee, the fifth, that's just stretching that triad. So keep it nice and bright and snap right to it, and it should take everybody's breath away. Sorry. That's really, really beautiful. Oh, Oh, let's keep going. Do you mind? Oh, no. I want to do the opening. I want to do the opening first. When am I done here?
Quarter to.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. You pitched. Can you imagine what these people were hearing when they heard this for the first time? Can you just envision? Yeah. Whoa, first of all, that's way too big of a leap to start a piece in this time period. That's like, whoa, hello.